What if a farewell meant to say goodbye turned into something far greater than anyone ever imagined? What if a moment of grief became a powerful wave of compassion, reaching far beyond one family, one city, or even one life? This is the story of Bo Lueders, a name that, for many, was once known only to those closest to him, but is now echoing across hearts because of what happened after he was gone. When tragedy struck and Bo Lueders passed away, his family faced not only overwhelming grief but also the financial burden that often comes with arranging a proper farewell. Like many families in similar situations, they turned to the community for support, setting up a crowdfunding campaign with a modest goal of $60,000. The intention was simple: to honor Bo's life with dignity and give him the farewell he deserved. At first, the campaign moved steadily. Friends, relatives, and community members began contributing, sharing memories, offering prayers, and showing up in the only way they could, through generosity. But then something unexpected happened. The story began to spread. People who had never met Bo, who didn't know his family personally, started to feel connected to his story. The campaign gained momentum, and donations began pouring in faster than anyone anticipated. Within a short time, the fundraiser didn't just meet its goal, it shattered it. What started as a $60,000 target soon crossed $100,000, and then kept going. Eventually, the total exceeded an astonishing $160,000. It was a moment that left the family stunned. In the midst of sorrow, they witnessed something incredibly powerful: the kindness of strangers and the strength of a community united by empathy. But what happened next is what truly turned this story into something unforgettable. Faced with an amount far beyond what was needed for funeral expenses, Bo Lueders' family made a decision that would transform grief into purpose. Instead of keeping the excess funds, they chose to give it away. Yes, in a time when they themselves were hurting, they looked outward and decided to help others. The family announced that the remaining funds would be redistributed to mental health charities in Chicago. It was a deeply meaningful choice, one that reflected not just generosity, but awareness. Mental health is a struggle that touches countless lives, often silently. By directing the surplus funds toward organizations dedicated to mental health support, the family ensured that Bo's legacy would live on, not just in memory, but in action. Their decision struck a chord with many. It wasn't just about money anymore. It became a symbol of how pain can be transformed into purpose, how loss can inspire change, and how one life can continue to make a difference even after it has ended. People across social media began sharing the story, praising the family's selflessness. Many were moved to tears, not just by the loss of Bo Lueders, but by the incredible response that followed. It reminded everyone of something often forgotten in today's fast-paced world: that humanity still exists in its purest form when people come together for one another. What makes this story even more powerful is the ripple effect it created. The funds donated to mental health charities will go on to support individuals who are struggling, who feel alone, who may be fighting battles no one else can see. In a way, Bo's story is now connected to each of those lives. His farewell became a beginning, a new chapter of hope for others. And perhaps that is the most profound part of all. Bo Lueders may no longer be here, but his impact has grown far beyond what anyone could have imagined. Through the generosity of strangers and the compassion of his family, his name is now tied to healing, to support, and to change. This story challenges us to think differently. It asks us, what would we do in a moment like this? Would we hold on, or would we give back? Would we let grief consume us, or would we allow it to inspire something greater? In the end, this is not just a story about loss. It is a story about humanity. About how, even in the darkest moments, light can emerge. About how one life, one family, and one community came together to create something truly meaningful. And maybe, just maybe, it's a reminder that even in goodbye, there is still a chance to give, to heal, and to make a difference that lasts far beyond a lifetime.